The evening begins with a voice that feels almost like a sigh, gentle, hopeful, reaching out after a long absence. The narrator's words roll softly across the opening scene. James came home after weeks of silence. And from that moment, the air inside the small wooden house shifts. Something warm stirs back to life, and something painful begins to wake as well. For weeks, James has vanished into the blur of work and responsibility, leaving behind a little girl who worships him and a woman whose quiet strength has begun to crack under the strain of waiting. Tonight, they all meet again, under one dim light, under one roof, and the secrets he carried back with him refuse to stay buried. This is the night where silence stops being protective and becomes destructive. Late afternoon light spills softly across the room, painting everything in gentle gold. It drapes over the faded wooden furniture, settles on the modest kitchen counter, and lands squarely on the expectant face of tiny NHI, round-cheeked, bright-eyed, and already racing toward James with a force that could break someone's heart. She tugs at his sleeve, pleading for him to help wash her hair. Her little voice is sweet and hopeful in that way only children seem capable of. Earnest, unfiltered, believing that love alone can make anything happen. James crouches down to meet her eyes. His smile is soft, his tone tender, but something darker flickers behind his expression, a shadow of guilt, the weight of too many nights spent far away. With a sheepish laugh, he admits, Uncle James is terrible at washing hair. He promises Aunt Diep will help later. But NHI shakes her head, clinging to him more tightly as though he might vanish if she loosens even a finger. Then her voice breaks just slightly. Don't leave me anymore, Uncle James. Don't go away again. James freezes. The sentence slices through him like a blade. Not angry, not demanding, just painfully honest. He smiles, tight and forced, trying to hide how deeply the plea wounds him. He promises he won't leave like before. But he doesn't swear it. He can't. Because even now, even here in her arms, he knows the truth. Work owns him more than he owns himself. NHI sits beside him, swinging her little legs as she talks about kindergarten, about the games she played, the days she spent thinking about him, the nights she fell asleep wishing he would tuck her in. And then, in a whisper that stings sharper than anything before, she says, Aunt Diep cries sometimes because she misses you too. James's breath catches. His apology is quiet, his voice unsteady. He gently strokes Nee's hair, promising, again, that things will change. He'll come every few days. He'll try to be there every day once his schedule settles. NHI brightens instantly, holding up her tiny pinky with solemn sincerity. A pinky swear, one she must have learned from Diep. James laughs softly and hooks his finger with hers. For a moment, life feels simple again. But beneath that warm surface lies a quieter truth. NHI fears being abandoned. James regrets the days he can't reclaim. Both cling to a fragile hope that promises might save them. In the kitchen, James cooks with the motions of a man trying hard to feel normal again. Eggs crack. Rice sizzles. The aroma fills the house like a memory of comfort he's been absent from too long. NHI toddles up to him with both hands cupped around something precious, a tiny clay statue, chubby and crooked in the most endearing way. I made this for you, because I missed you. The words nearly undo him. He jokes to lighten the moment, calling the statue chubby like him, but inside, something heavy sinks deeper. He places her handmade gift on a safe corner of the counter, as though it's worth more than anything else in the house. As they eat, James keeps up a playful facade, striking silly poses and pretending to be a master chef. NHI giggles with unshakable admiration. For a few fleeting minutes, it feels like a real family dinner. But every bite reminds James of the nights he wasn't here. Every smile reminds him of the smiles he missed. And every promise he hears himself making feels thinner than the one before. Later, James tucks NHI into bed. She clings to him again. "Don't go, Uncle James." He strokes her forehead and whispers. "I'm just going to sleep too." But the moment he stands, the door opens. Diep steps in, exhausted, shoulders weighed down by a long day at the orchard. Yet her voice softens instantly when she asks, "Is NHI asleep?" James nods. For a brief moment, they slip into domestic rhythm. She explains her late arrival. He tells her he fed NHI, bathed her, saved her a bowl of rice. It almost feels like the version of life they once pictured for themselves, almost. But the silence beneath is shifting, thicker, heavier, and at last, it cracks. Diep sits across from him, her exhaustion mingling with something else. Worry, hurt, love, disappointment. Then she asks the question that's been waiting at the edge of her tongue. "How long have you been back in Vietnam?" James falters. The pause says more than any words could. "About a week." Her face crumples. "A whole week. A week without a single message. A week of bleeding uncertainty." Her voice trembles, not with anger, but with heartbreak. "If you really saw me and NHI as family, why didn't you tell us?" James stares at his hands, guilt pooling into every crease. He mumbles that he had personal reasons, things that were hard to share, but Diep shakes her head. "We agreed, whatever happens, we share. If we are a family, we face things together." He insists he didn't want to worry her. She insists a single, "I arrived safely," would have spared her countless nights imagining the worst. He apologizes, again, but the word has become a thin, worn-out bandage on a wound that no longer responds to it. Then her restraint finally breaks. Her voice rises, trembling. "You always apologize." "And then you give reasons. What good are reasons if you never tell me anything until it's too late?" She walks a few steps away, her back to him, her voice cracking under the weight of months she has held everything together alone. "Have you ever asked what I want, whether I want to carry this fear alone? If it were you, would you be okay with someone you love disappearing without a word?" The house, once warm, now feels suffocating. When Diep turns around again, something inside her has settled, not calmer, but defeated. Her voice is steady, her pain is not. "James. Just go home." He looks up slowly, stunned. "Go home? Where do you want me to go?" Her answer is a whisper. "Wherever you want." "If this were really the place you wanted to come, you wouldn't have hidden from me for a week." She steps toward the door, holding it open with shaking hands. "Please just go. Drive carefully." "You'll be back soon enough. But for now," a pause, a swallow, a breaking. "For now it'll just be me and NHI." "I'll stop waiting for you." Those words land like a blow. James stiffens, chest tight. He wants to fix everything in one breath, but the distance between them is no longer measured in steps. It's measured in all the moments he stayed silent. Nye's earlier plea echoes through him like a ghost. "Don't leave me again, Uncle James." But he is losing them both anyway. James stands in the doorway, the weight of everything unsaid crushing him. Diep's disappointment hangs thick in the room, mixing with Nye's innocence and his own regret. Promises feel fragile. Timing feels cruel. And silence, his oldest habit, has become the enemy he can no longer outrun. As the door closes behind him, the soft echo is more than sound. It is a warning, a wound. A reminder of everything they are about to lose if something does not change soon.